Welcome to our channel. Today, we will explore a hidden danger lurking right beneath our feet: soil pollution, and how it silently threatens our future. Soil is the very foundation of life. It grows our food, sustains our ecosystems, and supports every single step we take. But today, the ground beneath us is being poisoned, silently and relentlessly. This isn't a distant problem. It's a disaster unfolding right under our feet. A quiet catastrophe that compromises the health of our planet and ourselves. So, what exactly is soil pollution? In simple terms, it occurs when harmful chemicals and substances accumulate in the land, disrupting its natural balance and turning it toxic. Imagine a sponge soaking up not water, but a cocktail of poisons, plastics that never disappear, pesticides designed to kill, heavy metals from industrial runoff, and countless other forms of toxic waste. When these contaminants saturate the earth, fertile soil turns into a poisonous wasteland. The intricate web of life within it, from microbes to earth, plants struggle to grow, and those that do can absorb these toxins, passing them up the food chain. Life disappears, slowly but surely. Ultimately, we are the ones who pay the price, as the very ground that is meant to nourish us becomes a source of danger. To understand how we reached this critical point, we must look at the primary causes, which are overwhelmingly linked to human impact. First and foremost is our staggering production of waste, particularly plastics. A single plastic bag can take up to 500 years to degrade, and in that time, it breaks down into smaller and smaller toxic particles that contaminate the soil. We casually throw it away, thinking it's gone, but the earth never forgets. These plastics leach harmful chemicals into the ground, creating a permanent toxic legacy. Agriculture, the very practice meant to sustain us, has become a major polluter. In the race to feed a global population of billions, we have become heavily reliant on chemical fertilizers, pesticides, and herbicides. While these may boost crop yields in the short term, they have a devastating long-term effect. These chemicals seep into the soil, killing off beneficial microorganisms, altering its pH, and reducing its natural fertility. We are, in essence, slowly killing the soil in our attempt to force it to produce more. Industrial pollution is another significant contributor. Factories and manufacturing plants often release a toxic brew of byproducts, including heavy metals like mercury, lead, and cadmium. These substances are invisible killers. They can be dumped directly onto the land, leak from storage containers, or settle from the air. Once in the soil, they don't just stay there. They enter the food chain. Plants absorb them, animals eat the plants, and eventually, they end up on our plates, accumulating in our bodies, with devastating health consequences. Finally, activities like mining and oil extraction leave deep, permanent wounds on the Earth's surface. These processes often involve stripping the land of its topsoil and vegetation, leaving it raw and barren. Chemical spills and leaks are common, contaminating vast areas with oil, heavy metals, and other toxic substances. The land is often left so damaged that it can take centuries, if not millennia, to recover, becoming a permanent scar on the planet. This is not a theoretical problem. It is a harsh reality for communities around the world. Let's look at some real global case studies. In Agbogblosia, Ghana, one of the world's largest electronic waste dump sites, the ground is black with soot and toxic residue. Here, children and young adults burn discarded electronics from developed nations to recover valuable metals like copper. This process releases a thick, acrid smoke and leaves behind a cocktail of poisons. Lead, cadmium, and mercury have turned this land so toxic that even touching the soil is dangerous, and life expectancy is tragically low. A similar story unfolds in Guizhou, China, once known as the world's largest e-waste recycling site. For years, workers dismantled electronics by hand, often in primitive conditions. The environmental cost has been catastrophic. Studies found that 80% of children in the area showed signs of lead poisoning and other forms of heavy metal poisoning, absorbed directly from the earth beneath their homes and playgrounds. The soil, the air, and the water were all dangerously contaminated. In Europe, the Campania region of Italy became infamous as the Triangle of Death. For decades, Organized crime syndicates illegally buried millions of tons of industrial and toxic waste under fertile farmland. The hidden chemicals, including asbestos, solvents, and heavy metals, leached into the soil and contaminated the groundwater. As a result, local communities experienced cancer rates up to 3 times higher than the national average. A horrifying testament to the direct link between polluted soil and human health. The United States has its own tragic example at Love Canal. In the 1970s, an entire neighborhood was built on top of a buried toxic waste dump containing 20,000 tons of chemical byproducts. Residents soon began reporting alarming rates of illness, miscarriages, and birth defects. The disaster led to the evacuation of hundreds of families, the closure of schools, and the declaration of a federal health emergency. The homes were abandoned, a stark reminder of what happens when we hide our poison in the ground. And across the farmlands of Southeast Asia and beyond, the widespread use of potent agrochemicals continues to pose a direct threat. The very substances used to protect crops are poisoning the land. What we put into the soil inevitably ends up on our plates. By poisoning the land, we are, without a doubt, poisoning ourselves. The devastating consequences of soil pollution ripple through every aspect of our world. On human health, the effects are dire and wide-ranging. Exposure to soil contaminants is linked to a terrifying list of ailments, including various forms of cancer, severe birth defects, irreversible organ damage, and debilitating neurological disorders. These toxins can enter our bodies through the food we eat, the water we drink, and even the air we breathe as dust from contaminated soil. The environmental impact is equally catastrophic. Soil pollution leads to a dramatic loss of biodiversity, as the organisms that form the basis of a healthy soil ecosystem are wiped out. It contributes to desertification, where once fertile land becomes barren and unable to support life. This, in turn, fuels food insecurity, as agricultural yields decline and the food that is produced may be unsafe to eat. Furthermore, degraded soil loses its ability to store carbon, releasing it into the atmosphere and exacerbating climate imbalance. The message is stark and simple. When soil dies, humanity dies with it. But this does not have to be our fate. We can heal the earth. The solutions exist, and they require a concerted effort at every level of society. Governments and industries must take the lead by implementing and enforcing stronger waste regulations. This means banning single-use plastics, investing in clean industrial technology, and ensuring that all waste, especially hazardous waste, is treated properly and not just dumped. Communities and individuals also have immense power to drive change. We can start by reducing our consumption of plastic and making a conscious effort to recycle correctly. We can choose products that avoid harmful chemicals, support organic and sustainable agriculture, and participate in local cleanup initiatives. One of the most impactful actions we can take is to plant more trees. Reforestation helps to restore soil health, prevent erosion, and capture carbon from the atmosphere. Science and innovation offer some of our most powerful tools. Technologies like bioremediation use microbes. Nature-powered cleaners do break down toxic substances in the soil. Another promising field is phytoremediation, which involves using specific plants, like tea-deep-rooted vetiver grass, to absorb heavy metals and other toxins from the ground, effectively cleaning it from the inside out. Our future truly depends on the actions we take today. The ground beneath us is not just dirt. It is a complex, living ecosystem that sustains us all. Every plastic bottle we choose not to use, every piece of waste we properly dispose of, is a small victory, a piece of the earth restored. Every seed we plant, every tree that takes root, is a promise for a healthier future. Soil is life, and life deserves to survive. We must act now to protect it. If you found this video helpful, please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to support our mission of protecting a green, clean, and beautiful earth.